Today, we will be diving into the world of cash, dreams, and clever schemes with three rock stars who know how to make money, work harder than anything. To talk about it, I have Chandralekha, the financial fairy godmother from Dime. I have Harshak Sinha, the tech-savvy CEO of Building at Digity.in, and Jay Desai, the content kingpin behind Insiders Club. Buckle up, everyone, for a wild ride through wallets, wisdom, and a sprinkle of fun. So good to have you. So good to have you. Please take it. All right, Chandralekha, I would like to start with you. When we talk about money, there are a lot of misconceptions. Misconceptions about how you spend it, how you earn it, how you save it, etc. I want to understand from you about building that long-term financial security and how do you overcome that entire process?
Okay. Hello. Am I audible? Fine?
Yes, yes.
Yes. So I feel the foremost important for anyone to achieve financial independence or financial security is by increasing the capital, that is increasing your earnings, right? So that's the first way to do it. And being Yuva of the nation, like I feel a person should have multiple skills in hand to monetize on. Just depending on a single source of income would not be enough to create wealth in the long term. So that's the first aspect I would say for anyone. Please build skills that are monetizable and not just employer friendly, right? So that's the first thing. And second is, the moment you've hacked that, it's to be financially disciplined, right? So the moment we get like, a few bucks of salary, like 20,000, 30,000, we go and buy a 30,000 worth shoes, right? So being disciplined is also very important. And that is foremost when it comes to financial security as well. That is a part of wealth preservation, okay? And thirdly, it is about wealth generation. You investing your surplus and disposable income into different avenues so that it passively generates money for you. And this is quite important, right? So wealth preservation and generation is both very important, and that's how you build financial security.
Spending is something that I do really well.
Yeah.
Is the reason why I end up with no money by the end of the month. How many of you here earn decently, but you don't know how to spend it? You either overspend it or you underspend it. Raise your hand. How many of you overspend your money? They're very smart people. There are very few of them.
They're realizing that they're overspending is a great thing. So many of them don't realize it. So it's a big, appreciation to them.
All right. Harshak, how can businesses they can leverage technology and branding to help the consumers in order to feel more confident about themselves? What is your take on that?
See, nowadays, the dynamics of how branding and advertising works has completely changed. People have shifted mediums in the sense that there were brands who were first focusing on billboards, then their brands, new medium came, which was TV, and a lot of advertisements and stuff. They shifted to that, and now the new thing which is coming up is obviously social media. So I feel a brand needs to be more relatable and needs to build that community for their particular niche or their industry. So social media is one of the most, I would suggest that strongest medium in order to grow your brand and advertising, overall increasing your visibility and stuff. We have seen a lot of brands, a lot of big brands coming up on social media, launching their own podcast, launching their own content, just to be more accessible to their community and for people to know about the brand. So I feel, there's a simple rule about branding and advertising. Go where the consumer is. And nowadays, maximum people are, using their mobile phone to consume all the content, or, in the free time, a lot of people are only on their mobile phone. So I feel, yeah, of course, social media is one of the most strongest medium for branding and advertising, and that's what we do, in my...
How many of you get affected or inspired by social media to make those choices? I think almost all of them.
Yeah.
Because that's the kind of era that we are living in at the moment. And this is important because, Jay, you are a content creator as well. How do you see the use of social media when it comes to money and how you earn money from social media? Because I'm pretty sure a lot of people who want to be influencers, who want to generate revenue from that platform, what is that one advice that you would want to give to those people?
First of all, thank you so much for having me. Taking the target audience into consideration, NDTV Yuva, right? So we are targeting mostly 20 to 30-year-olds right now. So one thing I think content creators should deliberately do is constantly checking if their content is adding some value in the audience's lives. Like for example, there are many types of content creator. I'll talk about two types of content creator. One is who is showing off their life on Instagram. What happens when an audience, when a viewer sees the story, like for example, you are driving a BMW, you're driving a Mercedes, you're going to events like these, right? Content creators do put up stories whenever they go out and whenever they network with people, right? But there are two ways of doing this. Like for example, when I'm meeting many people here, one thing that I'll deliberately do is I'll put up stories of what I learned out of this event, who I met, what actionable insight they gave to me so that I can pass it on to my viewers. And there is another way that I met so-and-so guy, I did this. There is no value addition in that, right? So I think most content creators have to shift to value addition and something that generates value for the viewers as well.
You know, having said that, how can the content creators, especially somebody like you, use their platform to shift the societal, the attitude from money, which is, for a short-term gain, to a more sustainable way of earning money?
So yeah, like I said, I create content around business, right? And I always talk about how to create long-term value for yourself. Like for example, when you invest in I would say for a lot of freelancers, if you buy an iPhone, that is also an investment, right? But that is again a short-term investment. You will derive value out of that asset. Let's call it an asset for 1 year, 2 years down the line. But you should always try to maximize the investments that you make, like maximize the returns from the investments that you make. So I think the biggest capital generation right now is doing a business. And that is what I'm talking about in my content creation journey.
So, yeah. In fact, the basic question at this point is, if somebody who has not invested in their entire life, if that person wants to start investing, what is your first advice to that person? In fact, let me ask the audience here. How many of you invest? So a large number of people do not invest, right? So what is that one advice that you want to give to those people?
For a person aged between 18 to 25, right, who's just enter the job space or who's just in college, I feel investing in themselves is most important, right? Today, I'm not making wealth from the investments I'm making. It is making it, but my majority of my wealth is coming from my skills that I've earned, right? So investing on skills, building it is extremely important because today, how much capital would you put? Like 5,000 a month, 10,000 a month, nothing more than that. How much will you make? Maybe like 10 lakhs in like next 10 years. So it's not going to help you that way, right? The important part, what is going to help you is to invest in yourself in the initial 5 years of your tenure. Then after that, when we speak about 25, once you are getting a stable paycheck, that is when you get into the markets and start investing as well, right? At the same time, I wouldn't say investing even when you're 18 or 20 is bad. That is required. If you have disposable income, you feel, okay, you've invested enough on your skills, let's invest the rest in the market.
How
right?
early is too early?
18 to 25 is too early, provided you're actually nowhere, right? let's say you're stable. There's so many people in 18 to 25 years of age who are earning 2-3 lakhs a month, right? So for them, it's quite simple to invest. You have more disposable income. But too early is when you already have so many expenses to take care of. You already feel you're not in the right environment, right job, right? You want to first invest and see where you're going to go. So that is too early, I feel. But once you start earning, continuously investing for long term is key, right? The moment you stop investing in between for 2-3 years, your compounding effect just drops. So it's very important to be a continuous investor rather than being an on and off investor. So that's also important.
That's wonderful. In fact, Harshak, I want to understand from you, in your view, what role does trust, in fact, play when it comes to the relationship between companies and the customers when it comes to money-related concerns?
See, I feel nowadays companies have realized that they have a lot of competition in the market. Every industry you hop on in or any business you open, mostly you have a lot of big competitors always there to eat your idea or probably overtake with whatever you are doing. So what I feel right now is you might have seen a lot of startups which came in the market and they did nothing but created organic content on their social media handles. And they were able to scale bigger than any other company spending lakhs and lakhs of rupees on advertisements. Just showing that transparency and that authenticity, that communicating that transparency of process has always played a major role. And that has helped a lot of upcoming startups. Like, see, if I talk about, I'm not here to talk about what big players do, because that's quite generic. A lot of people know that. But nowadays, a lot of youngsters starting a lot of business, startup, what I've seen is that the more transparent they get, the more authentic they are, and the more they care about their consumers. So I run a MarTech company myself. So in that, we have a simple rule that we don't have a price card or we don't have a specific service which we provide. We have a consult-first approach. So similarly, for all these companies who are coming in the market, they should first focus on how they can understand their consumer and their needs and then communicate their processes transparently and then scale their brand through that. So I feel that transparency and that authenticity plays a very major role between a brand. A lot of a lot of creators now have launched their applications, a lot of creators have launched their products, and those have performed more than a lot of giants in the market who are spending a lot of money. So that happens because of that genuine connection between a creator and the audience. And in general, that will happen for a creator can be anyone, an entrepreneur, a businessman. So it's all about, using the right platform, communicating and building your community, and then obviously communicating that transparency in your product and
Jay,
services.
your take on that. Transparency. It's a key word here. Transparency, how important is it for a creator like you, for a content creator? How important is that factor?
I think it's one of the most important factors that a
You said
content
one of
creator
the
should
most
have.
important factors.
Yeah, because, okay, let me put it this way. When you're creating, let's say, when you're an Instagram creator, you're creating a 60-second reel. You're explaining about a financial product that is very complex and very complicated, and you're explaining all that in 60 seconds, right? A lot of times what happens is, for example, this happened with me today. I received a message today in the morning. I had explained a financial product in one of my reels. Someone messaged me that, hey, you did not tell me that there is a particular spending limit to get the benefit. So in 60 seconds, it is very hard to explain everything. But at the same time, a content creator should definitely try to put all the disclaimers in all the material that goes through, whether it be a story, whether it be a caption, or even in comments. Transparency is definitely very good for the content creators to last long. Otherwise, the audience will not trust you in the long run.
Having said that, what is that one most impactful lesson that you have learned as a content creator personally? And if you want to share that with our audience.
I'll add to the previous point itself. Transparency and trust is one of the most, transparency and trust are the most important factors for a content creator. A content creator right now on Instagram can grow very quickly with some 2 or 3 viral reels, but they will only sustain if they are trusted by the viewers in the long run. And where the trust comes from is, again, transparency, creating value, and telling, like for example, if I'm using a sort of financial product, then I'll tell my own review, I'll tell all the pros and cons of using that product. And again, like for example, even if it is a branded collaboration, you have to mention like the caveats, you have to mention the cons of using that particular app. Even though the brand will not agree with you, even though the brand will feel like, please don't do that. But as a content creator, you should definitely do that.
I would like to add on.
please.
Yeah. So I feel as a content creator, one, in addition to all the points that Jay stated, I feel the next point also is to have a thick skin. This is very important in content creation because no human being is perfect, right? And that shows up on the screen very easily, right? For some days you can keeping it, mellowed down, but over the period of time, since you're the person, since the content is around you, it's very easy for your flaws to be shown out, and it's not a mistake at all, right? It's a learning. It's the same thing with all of us as well, right? There's so many times we might have missed something in the video and later realized it. So either we remove it or correct it in the captions or write a comment saying, this has gone wrong or something like that. And having a thick skin is important because when your video goes viral, even though no matter how much efforts you have put and no matter how much good work that is, you will still have so many comments that will make you feel like, okay, what's happening? Am I this person? Or, you'll doubt yourself many times. So having a thick skin as a content creator is very, very important.
There are a lot of young people and not so young people here who want to ask questions to you also. If we can get the mic in the audience and we'll take questions from them. But before that, I also want to understand from you the perception of money. It has changed from generation to generation. How do you see that change happening at this particular moment? And do you think our relationship with money and what we do with that money is completely different from what the previous generation used to think about it?
Yeah, I feel things about money has a lot of ironies in it. Because the first thing is, if I just talk about how money is seen today, it is mostly you are making money to buy time for yourself, right?
That's a great point.
This is the most important thing. Why would you earn money? To buy time, right? So why do you need time? To go travel, to meet your best friends, to spend time with family, right? Money is required to achieve this, or else you'll always keep working and working and working behind money. So creating wealth is all about buying that extra time. And that is why the rich have so much to do, which you can't, right? You think, okay, these guys are building so many businesses. How are they getting time? Because they bought the time by building something very passive, by building something so huge and exponential that they get surplus time. So money buys time, right? Now time buys money as well. That's why we are working at companies, right? Our time is converting to money. The day your money converts to time is the day you would have achieved independence. So this is the way things are going right now.
Yeah, like while Chandralekha was talking about passive income and stuff, so talking specifically about the youth, what I've seen is my DMs and a lot of finance creators also, their DMs might be flooded with the fact that how can I earn passive income? How can I earn passive income? But the fact is that a very few people realize that passive income is the invested amount from your active income. And to build your active income, you need to invest in your skills. So nowadays, all the youth and everything, because of the content and because you see the good side on social media, you always feel that, okay, like I need to earn money and I need to make sure that I have passive income. But generally, like the truth is that first you need to build a skill. That skill will get, yeah, exactly. The skill will build you the active income, and the part of that active income which you invest in multiple sources will build you passive income. But nowadays people are going reverse. They are first trying to build a passive income, then they soon realize they get frustrated, they invest in stocks, they invest in mutual funds, and they're telling, no man, this income is not enough for my lifestyle, and then they go back to kuch nahi rakha hai ye sab mein, and then they go to active income, and then when they reach to active income, they realize that active income is built on real skills, and when they, by that time you have lost a lot of time. Because, on social media, everyone talks in detail about how to build passive income. But a very few people very less people talk about building active income, because building active income is very difficult. And that builds actual wealth, because the money invested from your active income will build the wealth and the passive income. That's what I strongly feel.
These are fabulous insights, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people have questions here. Yes, if you can pass the mic here.
Hello. Nice to meet you all. So my name is Kajal. So my question to you, ma'am. So in today's world, we see that the cringe content basically gets more viral than the meaningful content. And why do you think that this happens? And the second thing, is it shaping the digital space, content creation in a negative way or a positive way? Thank you.
That is actually a great question, by the way.
Yeah, I appreciate this question because
Because all content gets viral.
Yeah.
All sorts of content gets viral.
Yeah.
And everything is making you money. So what is the easiest way to make that money? Is it okay to do that? And what is your take on that? That's a great question, by the way.
Right. So let me give you an example. To make one 60-second video, right, we take 12 hours. At least me and my team takes 12 hours because there's so much research and everything involved. Now, when I see videos that are actually not putting this much time but are still going viral, I also feel bad. I'm putting like 12 hours, 20 hours of my work into making one video, and how is, a cringe video going viral, right? So having an audience spectrum for yourself is very important, right? You need to create profile of your audience. What kind of audience do you want to attract? Today, the algorithm is very, very advanced. So it's going to give you the audience that's interested in your content. And trust me, you will find your own audience, right? You don't have to go in search of it. The algorithm will find you the right audience, right? So videos that are cringe and going viral are for the people who like those videos. And that's good. They're getting filtered right there. If they are watching your videos, then you won't get the right audience, right? So it's a good thing that they have videos for themselves and you reach to a different audience. So audience profiling for yourself is very important. If you ask me, how is it shaping the economy? As long as there are people watching it, there will be videos coming it, and every social media platform will keep pushing it. So this is a basic thing. It's the same with movies as well, right? So many movies you feel it's very massy and it's not logical. What is this nonsense? But still, why do they become hits? Because there's a huge mass of audience that likes it, right? But you will have your own audience. You will still love Oppenheimer. There might not be people who love it. So it's all about audience profiling. That's it.
That's wonderful. In fact, I have one more question from Akhileshji. Yes.
See, my question is about the FIRE trend, which is happening right now in the young generation. They are saying that financial independence and retire early. So what is your take on this? What is the goal behind it, and what is the philosophy? You think by retiring early, what do they want to do for the rest of their life?
Can I take that up?
Yeah, please go ahead.
When a lot of people say retire early, I think, do they really want to retire early? Let's say I hit my FIRE number at 35, and I imagine my life, like, let's say if I make $1 billion at the age of 35, maybe I'll book a room at Hyatt and stay for a month or something like that, right? I'll book a resort. But what after a month? What after 6 months, right? So, and I've met a couple of people in the last 6 months that have hit their FIRE number, that have literally shifted to Goa, stayed there for 6 months. Then they realized that this is not my life's purpose. They moved back to the crowded city that they earlier used to live in, and they started hustling harder than ever before. So I think having a FIRE number is definitely worthwhile. But I think that definition needs to shift a bit. Financial independence, then like Chandralekha also mentioned, right? You buy your time essentially. You choose what you can do when you hit your FIRE number. Like, let's say until you hit your FIRE number, you have to do things that you sort of don't really love doing, but you have to do. But after you hit your FIRE number, you can choose whatever you want to do that really adds purpose to your life, that really serves the community as well. So I think
I can
That's
add
my
to
take
that
on this.
as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel, adding to Jay's point, I feel fire number is what mostly gives us mind space, right? It gives us space to do a lot of things we never would have thought we'll be doing, right? It basically gives a freedom to choose something. That is what a fire number actually gives. Fire does not give any purpose to life at all. I feel a human being should find it by themselves. Fire just gives your freedom of choice. That's it at the end
Well,
of the day.
Chandralekha, if I'm given a choice to not work anymore, I'll gladly take it as long as I have money.
Yeah.
Anyway, Harshak, one final question from you, and this is what I've been asking from, what we have been asking from all our guests. What is that one hum karke dikhate hain moment for you?
See, there have been multiple moments in my life, and a lot of times, I run a bootstrap company. So a lot of ups and downs happen. I'm just 21 right now, so obviously building it in the last 3 to 4 years, being young and dealing with those big companies have been difficult. A lot of ups and downs financially, mentally. You build a team, and now it's going well. So yeah, that's my thing. Like building my company, scaling it across 5 countries, attending events, educating people. Is that that's not just a moment; it's a phase of my life, I would say.
Lovely. Ladies and gentlemen, these are really insightful words, and I hope that everyone has learned something or the other. And I also hope that you'll be more money smart going ahead, and you'll be able to manage that money well after listening to these wonderful set of people. Thank you so much for sharing your views and sharing those advice with all the young people here. And I hope everyone has learned something or the other from it.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you so much.
Thank you.